everybody, welcome. Today we are unboxing a product I already own. This is a second one, so that should give you an idea of how much I like the product. There's some complaints with it, and I'll talk about that. But overall, it's a product I like, and I thought, well, while I unbox this one, I will record it and kind of go from there. I've had the other one for over 3 years now. Might be longer. Don't know for sure. This is not an ad. They have not paid me. They have not given me any freebies or a reduced rate or anything like that. So this is not an ad for the company. They're not paying me in any kind of way. I'm not getting compensated. That's the word. At any rate, what it is a litter robot, and we are in the small bedroom. This is the smallest bedroom, but this is also where Sweet Pea and Smokey stay. Let me see if I can get Sweet Pea to get up here to introduce him. This is my big boy. This is Sweet Pea. He is, I think, about 12 years old. I'll double check that. I'll put it in the editing how old he actually is. But he was born outside the house. Yeah, he was originally a feral. He is the largest cat of the 7 cats that I have. And he was born, he has chronic UTIs. When I caught him and was waiting to take him to the vet for just regular checks, he ended up emitting a rust orange color urine. And so when I took him in, because I caught him on the weekend, so I took him in on Monday, and they were like, he has the worst urinary tract infection we've ever seen of any cat ever, young or old. And he has gotten them ever since. So he has to have special food, and he doesn't like using the automatic litter robot, and he ends up peeing everywhere. So that is why he's back in this bedroom. And I feel bad about it, but nobody's going to adopt him. And him peeing everywhere is not a reason to put him down. So he sits in the back bedroom here with Smokey, who is one of the ferals. And she is back here because she targets the black and white kitten that you guys see. Don't you? Yeah. This is Smokey. And you can see she looks just like Buddy. Sweet Pea looks just like them also. Smokey is also feral. That's Buddy's twin sister. And she has a larger white dot on her chest. Sweet Pea has a little bit of a dot on his chest, but he's so big it's easy to tell him apart. At any rate, we're going to open up this litter robot and put it in this room and see if he'll start using it. Because I hate keeping him back here, and if he will use it and not pee anywhere else, then maybe he can come back out to the living. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, because I still have to figure out his special food. I can't afford to do prescription food for everybody. He gets urinary tract infection food. And I can afford to do it with one other cat, but not 7 total cats. So, okay, are you done saying hi? He loves rubs. Yeah. We're going to see if you're going to use this. He's the only one of the 7 cats that won't use the litter robot. Oh, I think there's... So the lid is one of the lids where they stick it down into the product, not into the product, but into the container. So it's got little flaps that hold it in. So it's really good, secure packaging. It's too big for this room. Smokey's hiding. She's terrified of it. Sweet Pea's over here watching. Got a little package here that was hung on one of the corners. This has, is that the AC adapter? The instructions booklet. I think I see them. Liners for the tray. Let me see if they've shrunk the AC adapter. The other one, it's bigger. Oh no, they're the same size, but that's the AC adapter. Not that you guys could really see that, but. Alright. So these are used in the corners. I'm taking out these three. Because I need to move the litter box a little bit forward. Or I might not be able to. I might have to pull it out altogether. And if you're vertically challenged, this will be interesting. Actually, I could pull it out. I didn't realize that. But this is guarding the notch on the back. Let's try this again. Oh. I'm going to switch everything out so that I have room to show you the litter robot. And it's got extra cardboard on the bottom also that protects the bottom. I broke a nail in all of that. It's on the middle finger too. Alright. So this is our litter robot. They've got some stuff to help you out. This just talks about the fact that cats must weigh at least 5 pounds to safely use the litter robot. And this is the reason why they say that. Check out this video. She is so funny. See how long she rides it. I've actually caught her using the litter box, but she's not heavy enough to trigger it, which is why it's still turning while she's in it. I can't believe she sits there and rides in it. It's almost done. It actually felt you. Yeah. She must be getting almost 5 pounds then. Phil, start. Nope, he's going to get right back in it. Ryder! Ryder! Quit playing in the litter box. Hey! He's just heavy enough that it senses him and it stops turning. Got it going again and he jumped right back in. It didn't stop. Also, it says never push the little robot against a wall or into a corner. Must not touch any walls. And the reason why is because you want this to be able to turn freely. And part of turning freely uses this mechanism back here. And this part also rotates. So to make sure that nothing's touching the wall, make sure that everything can turn safely. When you are putting it together, because you can take it apart to wash it and everything, you need to make sure that this part of the knob is in this notch. It has the AC adapter plug here. There's another little spot here. That must be for the more advanced one, which you can connect to your phone. It's $50 more, and for me it's not worth it, so I always go with the non-connect version. Hey, Smoke! I don't know if you guys could see her crawling out from her hiding hole. Alright. This goes in here. This catches litter as they're stepping out of the litter box. This is the, whoops. This is the drawer to catch the clumps as they turn. Inside the drawer, I'm not the best at this, I apologize. Inside the drawer, you can see a filter that's to try to keep the smell down. And you can buy filters to replace. I think that they're charcoal infused, I think. And then this is the liner. You can buy liners from them, but I'll show you what I also use, as I have a ton of them, and it works. So, now their liners, they use these tabs to hold it in place, and then you just, when you're ready to do your thing, you pull it out like that. The ones that I currently use, which I'll use these because they came in the box. You get 3 of them. So I'll use theirs. But the other ones that I use, I don't tuck them in like that. I actually wrap it around the outside. That way nothing drifts inside. It all goes in the bag. But we'll deal with it as it comes. Sweet Pea's looking at the camera again. He's like, what's going on? What is this? It's got some dirt on it. When ready, you just put the drawer back in. Just like that. And it's ready to use. Well, as soon as I plug it in and everything. I'm going to show you how to take it apart so that when you clean it, you can see some of the different things. But I'll also show you some tips that I've used when having to deal with it. They can be finicky. And what I mean by that is when you turn it on, you've got 3 lights. A blue light, steady blue light, which means that it's ready to go. A flashing blue light means that the drawer is full. But I found that that's not always true. So the first time it flashes, I pull the drawer out, shake the drawer to even out the litter, and then put it back in, and it'll go for about another day before it fills. And that's with 5 cats using it. So I have to change the drawer about every other day with 5 cats. Not too bad though. The other light in the middle is when the litter robot is paused. So it'll pause when it'll be a steady yellow light when it's getting ready to turn or is turning. When it's flashing yellow, that means there's an issue. Something's not working correctly, something's not connected correctly. Sometimes it's the contacts for the bonnet, and I'll show you that. Sometimes you're supposed to use even flooring, and so sometimes the flooring's uneven. So if I shake it and then let it go, sometimes it works itself out and it starts working again correctly. And then there's a red light. If it's a steady red, that means that a cat was just in it and it is waiting whatever time I've set it to turn. It has 3 settings, and the instructions tell you how to set the timer. It took me a little bit to get used to myself, and I put it on the longest to make sure that the urine clumps dry, but also they don't get totally dry, but dry enough that it clumps well enough. The eldest cat, Purdy, has very runny bowel movements right now, and so that also gives time for the runny bowel movement to soak up and harden into a clump also. If it's flashing red, that means it's a major error, and so it will, usually the only way I've found to clear that is to turn it off completely and unplug it and then plug it back in, and then it's working fine. Past that, I haven't had any major problems. So I don't know if the red light means anything more than that, but the instructions kind of go over that with you. There is a rubber lining on the inside, and there's a little kind of like a little door thing, which it's not a door, it's a edge, which is nice because if they are kicking the litter around as they're scratching around in it, it keeps it from getting kicked out through the opening. There is a lever underneath the rubber pad that moves when the shell turns, and my thinking is that lever underneath the rubber mat is to help move the mat, which loosens the litter that's sticking to it, and therefore it also goes down into the drawer. Not always, so you will have to use a scoop still to sometimes loosen the clumps, especially if you're getting ready to change out the drawer. I always do one last run, make sure that nothing's sticking to the rubber mat. I use the scooper to loosen anything that's still sticking while it's doing its last turn. There is a edge on the inside, and I'm going to show it to you. I don't know if you'll be able to see it well, but that's the line for how full to put the litter in, You don't want to go over that or you'll be wasting litter. The extra litter will go into the drawer. You also don't want it to get too low or they won't have anything. So it's a nice gauge for knowing whether you need to put more cat litter in or not. This is the edge right here that I was talking about that tells you whether you've got enough litter or not. It goes all the way around. This lump that you see right here is that little lever that I was talking about. That moves. You'll see it go to this side and then it'll swing back. It makes a knocking noise when it does. Sometimes does a knocking noise when it falls back into position. The screen, if they ever end up going to the bathroom on the screen and you get clumps behind, this will pull out like that. And then go right back into position. So you can get clumps out that way and then kind of go from there. There you can see the chute at the top and the light shines through the chute. And so that's how that works. I will warn you that if you have cats with claws, they will probably pull at this, which mine has held up on the old one. It's still working very well. And they may claw at that and pull it. So some of my other videos, you will hear a sound like this. And that's because JoJo pulls that with her claws when she's scratching around in the litter box. So, just be forewarned about that. And then when this gets enough litter in it, you can just pull it out easily like that. Put it in, dump it into the litter, and then put it back in place, and the litter is going again. These were the lights that I was telling you about. Ready, cycling, and the timing. The red light, yellow light, blue light. Your buttons here, you want to be careful of. I hit the reset a lot. When I have the flashing blue, if you hit reset and then cycle, sometimes it will still do a cycle even when it says it's full. There are times when it says, I am full, and it will not do it. So just know that. If it won't cycle, it's because it's too full. Empty will cause the egg to turn this way, which means you're bypassing the screen, and all of your litter is going to go out the chute. And that's if you're needing to just put brand new litter in completely. That's the way you empty it, is you hit that button that says empty, and then the egg will turn so that the litter goes out the chute that way. And this little dot right here is the light sensor. So when you cover it up, the light will come on. If there's enough light hitting it, it'll turn the light off. The bonnet comes off. I'm going to stand behind it and show you guys. So you just squeeze in and lift it up like that. And that takes the bonnet off. The bonnet holds a light. It's a blue light, which is nice for them, especially when it's dark. And the connectors that I was talking about are right here. And sometimes they need to be cleaned off with an alcohol swab just to clean the connectors. And then the connectors on the base that these connect to, I clean those with an alcohol swab as well. On the back, we have this chute, and this chute is where, when it's turning, actually it's going to turn this way, because as it's turning this way, the litter goes through this screen, and the clean litter goes into a storage area, which is right here, and then the clumps go down the chute into the drawer. Then it straightens back out, it's going to go into this position and then actually go a little bit further to level out the litter, and then it'll straighten back up again. I also wanted to show you this chute back here because I can't tell, I'm looking at it sideways. That's a little crooked still, isn't it? I think that's lined up right. So when I first got the litter robot, I wasn't sure how to get the litter in because they show in videos and stuff people using the bags. Well, if you've watched any of my videos, then you may have seen the boxes that I use. And I get the big boxes of cat litter, and they don't really pour into the front very well. So what I've been doing is I take the bonnet off and I use the chute in the back. And let me show you what I use to help me with that. So I was trying to pour directly from the box into the chute, but it's kind of facing this way. So it's not a straight pour down in, and I was getting litter on the back side. So what I got was one of these mason jar funnels. It's supposed to be for a wide mouth, and it's collapsible. So if I wanted to, I could collapse it. But I got this funnel thing to be able to sit back here like that, and it catches the cat litter. It gives it, still not flat, but it gives it a little flatter surface for the litter to hit and then shoot down into the chute. And kind of go from there. And so that's one of my tricks that I've come up with for myself for getting the litter into the litter box. And then after you pour it in, I take the scoop and level it out, make sure I've got enough and not too much. After you're done putting new litter in, you put the bonnet back on. It's got little lip on the two spots on the back. Got cat hair all over it already. And so you want those little lips to fit into the slots in the back. And then you just do your light squeeze to make sure you've got that in, and you've got it back on and it's all connected. When I was first learning to do it, I didn't know about the little lip that goes into the slot, and so that was one reason why I was having problems with my litter robot right away, is because the connectors were not connecting tight because I didn't have the lip things in the slot, the little tabs in the slot. So that's a trick for that. And when I say I jiggle the litter robot when it's flashing orange, or yellow, whatever color you want to call it, when it's flashing and I need it to read correctly, I take the top and jiggle it like that and then let go. Sometimes it shifts the weight enough that it says, okay, we're good now, and it functions fine. Sometimes it'll hang when it's turning, and you'll start getting the red flashing when that happens. If I turn it off and then turn it back on, it then straightens itself back out again. But sometimes it's a lot of jiggling and fighting to get it to read correctly so it'll finish spinning correctly. And I've had a few times where it's hung when I was at work, when I was before I was working from home. There were a couple of times I'd come home and find that it was hanging and the cats did what they could and used the litter box while it was upside down, and so they would pee into the drawer because it was going down the chute, or if it was stuck sideways, they peed on the screen that filters out the clean and dirty litter. Okay, so I've got clean litter in. It probably filled a little too much in there. We will find out. And if I turn it on, you can see all the lights flash. It does a cycle first thing. And so you can see the litter goes through the screen. And so that is how it catches the clumps. And it goes into a storage area back behind the screen. Yeah, I got a little too much litter in there, so you can see I'm wasting that litter right there. But all the rest is caught. It goes down the chute into the bag below. Now I will say that I've had clumps get onto the plastic there that's showing right now, and sometimes they dry there and get stuck, and then it takes a couple of cycles before they come loose and fall into the chute. Those usually aren't a problem, just to let you know that. You can see the yellow light is on, or the orange light, whatever color that is. The litter is starting to come back through the screen to fill back into the hole. You can hear the little paddle in there. So it overturned to level out the litter, and now it's straightening back up. And I just realized I've got a hole right there. I will have to write the company and let them know that. I didn't notice the hole before. My other one does not have a hole in it, and it doesn't look like, I can't tell for sure. I don't think a hole should be there. I was trying to look and see if that was a pre-made hole, but I don't think it is. My other one does not have a hole there. It's completely solid. So I'll have to write the company and find out about that. Sometimes the lining will come off a little bit like that. You just pop it back on. Not a problem. And in the summertime, I take it outside and use a hose to clean it out. A hose and whatever detergent you use to soap it down. And I usually put it so that the chute is on the bottom, and then that way all the water falls out the hole there. But you will get water that gets in the trap here, and so you do have to make sure you turn it in all directions to make sure you get all the water out. And then I usually let it wait a few hours to try to let it dry before I bring it back in the house and put litter in it. So make sure it's good timing for your cats, or that you have another litter box that they can use. And just to show, I'm trying to keep the vomit out of the picture, just to show that blue light is now on and it's steady. And I'm going to cover up the light sensor so you can see the light come on. And there's your blue light. So overall, it is expensive. It is expensive. That's one of the cons, but it is worth it to me to go ahead and use it, even with some of its little quirks. It's physically easier on me than doing 5 litter pans and going from there. On that note, Sweet Bee says, bye-bye. That's his bed. Smokey usually sits in the other bed, but she's hiding right now. Oh, nope, there she is. She was out. Hi. Hi, Smokey. You gonna talk? Now you have a squeaker. We've heard you cry. What you doing, Smokey girl? Okay. You can see it kind of gets a little bit of racing stripes going on the roof. And then I get litter that clumps up there because my little boy sprays when he gets in the litter box. Luckily, he only sprays in the litter box. So that's why I have it sticking up there. That's his fault. But otherwise, this is the working one. And the litter bags that I use are these office bags that you can buy in bulk at the office supply store. They're for trash cans in the office. And so you can see they've got litter in the tray there. You just take it, flip it like that, and then put it back in. And then those bags that I just showed you, the office trash bags, fit just like that. I fit it over the edge and then bring it back. And I do have a brick that sits in the drawer on this one because I find it runs better with a brick in it. There we go. So that was another trick that I use to help it run a little smoother. But you can see the blue lights on this one because it sits in the dark more. But now that my light's on it, you can see the blue light turn back on. So that's it on the litter robot. Any questions, I'll try to answer them. But otherwise, thank you for joining me on this review. And maybe Litter Robot will see this and they'll give me some compensation. All right, thanks everybody. Bye.